How goes it? Good evening, all you sports fans. I'm Adam Buskey, alongside my good friend Tom Krakow, and welcome to another edition of Nashville South Sports Center on television. Between listening to us on the radio, you now watch us on TV. Let's get to business as we want to open up the show in style. Let's talk some Bruins. Nobody better to ask than my good friend Tom Krakow. Tom, tell us about last night's Bruins game versus the Calgary Flames in Game 2 of their 5-game West Coast trip.
Well, how are you doing, Buskey?
Pretty good.
Well, let's just start off the show in disappointment. You lead off the game 3-0, entering the first 50 seconds of the second period. You have a goal from Marchand, you have a goal from Chara and Krug, and they look powerful from there. You know, their offense was great. They played some great defense in the first and second period. But as midway through the second period started coming, 4 unanswered goals for the Calgary Flames to get a win last night against the Bruins. And that's just not the way the Bruins needed to start this road trip off. And I said it in our show yesterday. It's just, what does this team need to do to get back on track? And we still don't know who they are. I mean, they look great at some points. They look bad at some points. Last night, again, we saw the bad side of the Boston Bruins towards the second half of that game. And it's just disappointing to a lot of Bruins fans.
I mean, they really started off early getting goals, you know, in the first period and then getting goals in that game, but then they just fell apart right in the end.
Marchand
started could not finish in the overtime.
Marchand started the game off with a shorthanded goal. Then Chara followed with I don't remember if it was a slap shot or wrist shot. Scored, made it 2-0. Opened up the third period, Torrey Krug goal, and it looked like from there the game was almost over because they just had so much momentum. Bruins looked great. And then once the 10-minute mark of the second period came, they just looked bad from there. And to end the second period off with that terrible power play unit, it's not a good way for the Bruins to start this road trip at all. 0-2 in their first 5.
Now, yesterday on the 2-hour Krakow and Bus show live in Salem, Mass., you mentioned that the Bruins have to take 2 games from this West Coast trip. And why is that? I
mentioned they have to take 2 because you cannot leave this road trip 1-4 or 0-5. I mean, you have Florida chasing after you. You have just a bunch of teams below you that are so close to the playoff race, Philadelphia. So, yeah, you have a few points, I think 4 in front of Florida. Now is the time to beat the Edmonton Oilers, go on and beat the Blues Friday night, and have a challenge against the Chicago Blackhawks. See how they do. The last 2 games of this road trip is going to be tough.
Saturday on our Krakow and Bus show, I said the Bruins will not make a playoff run after the first round. Do you still believe that?
Yes, I believe that. The way we've been seeing them play. The choke against Vancouver, the choke against Calgary last night. Not a great way for this road trip to start. They certainly don't look like a playoff team. They're playing playoff teams right now. Vancouver, Calgary, they've got St. Louis and Chicago coming up. They can't beat West Coast playoff teams. They certainly won't be able to compete with teams like Montreal, Tampa Bay, or even the Islanders, who blew a close game last night to the Rangers. But that's a different story. But they're not a playoff team right now.
Now, does anyone of the blame for this year team belong to the Claude Julien, the head coach of the Bruins?
One of the greatest coaches in the NHL right now. I think he's the second longest tenure of a coach in the NHL. So, no, you can't really blame it on him. He has a completely different style of hockey that he plays with. I think it's the players and their heart for the game, their passion. They just don't show it this year, and that's where we are. Tom Lassard joined the show yesterday, and he even agreed with me. He said, Claude Julien is one of the greatest coaches the Bruins have had, if not one of the greatest coaches right now in the NHL. Can't put a lot of the blame on him. It's the players. And the offices up top. Peter Chiarelli.
Absolutely. Well, that wraps up our hockey talks. All right, folks, coming up next, Krakow has a sit-down with Mike Habibi right here live in our studio. But still to come, baseball season is just days away. You know what that means. That all comes your way next.
La Fonda's Luscious Lipstick has the newest sex-appealing vitamin from Fuji and Delaware. You'll be looking sexy in no time, baby.
you wear me? I'd wear me.
La Fonda's luscious lipstick, baby.
Joining me now live in the studio is South baseball star and my good friend, Mike Habibi. Mike, how are we?
Pretty good. How are you?
Not bad. So let's just get to the first topic here. Baseball season, just weeks away. Are you both mentally and physically prepared?
I'd say so. Yeah, I am. No doubt about it.
So you guys are switching ball fields this year. You go from Holman Stadium to the Nashville South ball field. Can I get your thoughts?
I think it was a good move because now we don't have to get in our cars and drive to the field. We can just get outside. So if we have a 4 o'clock game, everybody can be outside by 2:10. So it gives us over an hour and a half to prepare for the game. So
how have you changed from? How have you changed from last year to this year? What about the Mike Habibi ball player has changed in the course of the year?
Well, I thought last year I was pretty horrible at throwing the ball. So I've just worked on throwing a lot, and I'm working on hitting a lot, countless hours. So I'm just hoping to minimize any throwing mistakes from last year that I made, because I made way too many.
America's most beloved sport. What's your favorite part about the game of baseball?
My favorite part about the game of baseball is making plays, just being clutch and stuff like that. Seeing yourself do something to make your team happy, a momentum change, pump up your teammates.
Now I know hitters like the cleanup spot, then the leadoff spot. Do you prefer any spot in the lineup?
Personally, I love batting leadoff. I think that's where I'm going to bat every game this year for us. I just think it's good for me because I think I'm good at waiting for the pitcher to make a mistake, and I get on base a fair amount, and I have decent speed, and I have power too. So I think not many leadoff hitters have that much power. So I think it's a good mixture of speed and power because I have so many power hitters behind me. So if I don't hit a double or a triple or something, I still get on base. Chances are they're still going to knock me in.
Now, can you give us some insight on the field conditions with the snow? Preseason's been canceled. Just give us some insight on that.
Well, it's unfortunate, but that's just part of being a New England baseball player. All the snow, we probably won't get on the field until our first game, which will be hard practicing in a gym because fielding a ball off a gym is a lot different than fielding it off a field. But I think as long as we just prepare ourselves, whatever happens, happens. I don't think we'll have to worry about being on the field the first time we play a game, as long as we prepare.
Now, Mike, where do you and how do you train for baseball in the offseason?
I train at AB Athletics with some other South kids, and I usually lift for 45 minutes to an hour and then hit for about an hour and a half, and then 2 or 3 days a week I'll work on some shortstop stuff.
Now, if you could look into the future, where do you see this team in May? Do you see them in the postseason? Can you guys possibly get a championship?
I think this team's really special because we have 2 really good senior pitchers, which is what every team needs. You need seniors, you need pitching. And we have our whole team coming back last year, and obviously we struggled last year, but I think a lot of people are just getting their feet wet. So now they see what the difference between JV and varsity is like. I think I definitely see us around, I'd say around anywhere from 2 to 5 games over 500. And then once we get in the tournament, anything can happen. Like I said, we have 2 ace pitchers. We have 2 aces. So we could throw whichever one in the first round. As long as we get in the tournament, anything can happen.
All right, now it's time for some quick rapid-fire questions. Ready?
All right.
What's your favorite type of baseball bat?
Favorite type of baseball bat? Louisville Slugger.
What's your favorite class in school?
Favorite class in school? Contemporary Global Studies. Shout out to James Guy.
What's your favorite food?
Favorite food would be buffalo chicken.
All right. Who's your favorite MLB baseball player?
Well, I would say Derek Jeter, but since he's retired, I'll pick a current one. I'll say Bryce Harper or Troy Tulowitzki.
All right. What was the better World Series win for the Red Sox? 04, 07, or 13? Which one stands out more?
Dude. 04, only because they broke the curse, but I'm tempted to say 13 only because I was at game 1.
All right. How will the Sox stand, or where will the Sox stand at the end of the season? A, miss the playoffs. B, wild card team. C, division title. Or D, a World Series.
That's a hard question to ask, to be honest with you. I don't really see the Red Sox being that good this year, only because they're pitching. If Sherrington can get Jordan Zimmerman or Cole Hamels, I'll say division. But if we don't make any changes pitching-wise, I don't think all the money we spent on position players that'll help us, because I don't think they'll stay healthy enough. It just depends on Ortiz and Pedroia, to be honest with you. But I'm tempted to say I don't think we'll make the playoffs again.
All right. Are you ready for spring? It's almost here. Snow's
Can't wait.
Not clearly here, almost gone, but that is Mike Khabibie joining us right now. We'll be back after this.
The Endura bottle, the only reusable plastic water bottle you'll ever need. It keeps you hydrated and refreshed, saves plastic waste, and gives you the energy to keep going, no matter what you're doing. Available for $11.99 in stores near you. The Endura bottle. It works as hard as you do.
All right, welcome back to Nashua South Sports Center. Great interview, Krakow. Now let's get back to business, though. Baseball season is here. The grass may not be out yet because it's covered with white stuff, but before you know it, the grass will be cut, the dirt will be flattened and raked, the ballparks will be filled, and most importantly, our beloved baseball team from Boston will be back. The Red Sox open camp on Friday for spring training. Krakow, are you ready?
Oh, of course I'm ready. How can you not be ready? It's baseball season.
I'm really excited. I think this team is really going to have some big pushes this year, and we'll be excited to see what this team can bring in 2015. Now, Krakow, who is your starting lineup for the boys' summer to come on opening day?
Well, Bus, my starting lineup looks like this. Mookie Betts, Dustin Pedroia, David Ortiz, Pablo Sandoval, Hanley Ramirez, Rusty Castillo, Mike Napoli, Xander Bogaerts, and Christian Vasquez. How about you?
I would pretty much agree with you right there, but you know, I want to see more of Brock Holt.
Yes, we've said that a lot in the show too. It's tough. We got a ton of outfielders. They got to sort that out during the spring.
Now, I know that we've been having some talks and issues about Clay Buchholz.
You love him.
I have a gut feeling that he would be our starting pitcher come opening day, but give us your thought on who you think could be the starting pitcher for the Red Sox in 2015.
Man, well, no Cole Hamels yet. There's still talks about that as of now. But I'm going with Rick Porcello.
All right, you heard him right there. So one more topic, Krakow. The boys basketball team will be playing tonight at 6:30 here at Belanger Gymnasium, take on Alvern High School. We get to call the game live. Make sure you listen and go on to Spreaker.com and search NHSS Sports Center, or follow us on our Twitter page at NHSS Center. You can click the link to listen live. So, Krakow, who do you think will win tonight?
South, no question. South wins by 13 points.
So I totally agree. I think South is really going to push themselves to get to that top 5 seed in the state right now, as they were really at the bottom at the beginning of the year. They have made their push. So throughout our final thoughts, what are you thinking on this team right now?
Got to keep digging. They're started from the bottom. Now they're here. So top 5 could be tonight. By 10 o'clock tonight, you look at the standings, South could be top 5. That's just exciting. I'm excited for the rest of the season. Playoff push, here we come.
That's right.
Can't wait to call the game tonight.
All right, so I have one last question for today's show. Daytona 500 this Sunday. Who do you have taking the checkered flag?
Of course, Dale Jr. Why not?
Oh, boy, that's up in the air. All right, folks, that's about all the time we have. We will see you in a few more weeks. I'm Adam Buskey.
And I'm Tom Krakow. Enjoy the Sox, B's, C's, and your boys' basketball team. Good night. Thanks for tuning in.